The Bitcoin network is in trouble. The number of unconfirmed Bitcoin transactions have reached a new all-time high of over 485,000. The average cost to send one Bitcoin transaction has jumped to $19.20, and pictures of frogs and other memes have rendered the BTC blockchain useless for microtransactions. So we have never seen the Bitcoin network this congested ever. Not in the bull market of 2021, not in the bull market of 2017. And this is leaving a lot of people worried that today, while we're not technically, we're sort of in crypto spring, not a bear market, but not full-fledged bull yet. What's this going to look like when we are in bull market and when we do get that onboarding, that onslaught of new users again into crypto? Bitcoin fees just hit a new record, up 500x from just a few months ago, officially marks the start of the arms race to build the best Bitcoin L2s. I'm talking Lightning, I'm talking Stacks, I'm talking Rootstock. All long-term solutions for the network. In the short term, just looking at the mempool today, what's changed so much this cycle in the short term? Well, a major change is Bitcoin Ordinals, aka Bitcoin NFTs. The biggest difference now between this jump in transaction fees and past ones with inscriptions is that BRC20 standard is a new way to inscribe. Adoption of this standard is driving fees up. So while meme coins today are clogging up Ethereum, Ordinals are severely clogging up Bitcoin. Due to the emergence of Ordinals, Bitcoin NFTs, hundreds of thousands of transactions are stuck/pending. And while on-chain, now the average cost is around $20, many exchanges are charging $60+ to process them. Bitcoin network congestion causes Binance, the #1 cryptocurrency exchange in the world, to pause withdrawals on Bitcoin. That happened yesterday. People were shocked. The world's biggest crypto exchange has now resumed withdrawals, but problems continue to linger for the Bitcoin protocol. And the reason Bitcoin Ordinals are even a thing this cycle is because the upgrade of Taproot for Bitcoin finally saw adoption, allowing Ordinals, aka Bitcoin NFTs, to become a thing. But how are Bitcoin Ordinals different from Ethereum NFTs? Well, on a recent episode of NFT Now, friend of the channel, Udi, breaks it down.
It's not just NFTs on Bitcoin. The dynamics of Ordinals are really different from how NFTs work on Ethereum. They're different in two important ways. One is, as the owner of an Ordinal, it's truly yours. No one can change it. No one can change the image. What happened to Goblin Towns cannot happen. Doesn't matter what the creator wants. Doesn't matter what kind of royalty marketplace wars are going on. It's permanent. So you guarantee that the image is always going to be on chain. It's always going to be available no matter what happens. As long as Bitcoin exists, the image of the inscription is also going to exist. And it is truly scarce. It is made out of scarce material. So when you create an Ethereum NFT, you could create easily millions a day. With Bitcoin, there's only 4 megabytes of block space available every 10 minutes. And you got to acquire some of it in order to craft your inscription. And there's only a very limited amount of it that's going to be created every day.
And what's the solution here? Meaning, how does the Bitcoin mempool, the amount of unconfirmed transactions that need to be confirmed, this is a live look right now, how does this get fixed? Well, number one, the beauty of Bitcoin is if you want your transaction to go in first, if you want a higher priority, you can pay more. Right now, a high priority transaction is going for over $20, an outrageous amount compared to, whoop, look at that, another block just got cleared. Now a high priority is $18. But the unfortunate part of all this is this does sort of make microtransactions unusable. Nobody would ever pay for a daily transaction, a cup of coffee, with these high fees. And also keep in mind, this is just an ebb and a flow. We've seen what we thought were outrageous transaction volumes, huge congestion before. Of course, this is much worse. But given enough time, this will get cleared. We all just have to wait or pay more. Now for the Bitcoin blockchain, Binance, along with other major centralized exchanges, have announced they are onboarding to the Lightning Network. This is an L2 for Bitcoin, meaning the infrastructure is rapidly improving for Bitcoin transactions. Again, it's still building. And in terms of the meme coin cloggage for Ethereum, the first meme coin on L2 will shift this equilibrium. Synthetics founder Kane Warwick explains how this new phase of meme coin mania can boost L2's massive adoption. So the creator of Synthetics, heavily respected, tweeted this: The first meme coin that blows up on L2 will shift this equilibrium. We've seen people learn about Uniswap back in the day to be able to FOMO into things. I think they will learn how to bridge to an L2 if some random thing is blowing up. Yes, I can see it. It would be much more sensible for these meme coins to deploy on an L2 like Arbitrum, Avalanche, Polygon, Optimism, but there are fewer people there and more friction to ask them to bridge at this moment from mainnet. Yes, all these ETH scalers are also all these ETH killers. They really thrive during bull markets or during times of peak congestion, because in a bear market, everybody is just comfortable using Ethereum until it becomes too slow or too expensive. I am going to keep tabs on this. Make sure you subscribe for a daily video keeping you informed about crypto. Now, big news if you hold XRP, a direct quote from CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple's tussle with the SEC to cost the firm over $200 million. Here's Brad Garlinghouse at the 2023 Dubai FinTech Summit over the weekend, speaking about XRP and the SEC.
So what's your message to the SEC chair as you sit here in the UAE and in Dubai announcing an expansion of your business to this region, given the state of regulation in the United States right now?
Who? No, I'm kidding. All right, so look, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I find it as a company that started in the United States and as someone who's a US citizen, it's sad. Like, I have sadness about this. The U.S. is getting passed not just a little bit, but by a lot. And, you know, but the tough thing about this is you have a country that I think has put politics ahead of policy. And, you know, that's not a good decision if you're trying to invest in the economy. You're seeing, you know, certainly here in the UAE with VARA, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, certainly what's happened recently in Europe with MiCA. The United States is definitely stuck, and you know, Ripple, the case with the SEC, we will spend, the first time I've shared this publicly, by the time it's said and done, we will have spent $200 million defending ourselves against a lawsuit, which from its very beginning, people were like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. You have video footage of the chair of the SEC as a professor at MIT saying, 75% of these digital assets are commodities, and now he says they're all securities because he's the head of the SEC and he's seeking power, and he's putting power ahead of sound policy to grow an economy in the United States. Blockchain technologies are being invested in and pursued in the entrepreneurship outside the United States, and one of the first pieces of advice I give entrepreneurs when they come and ask me, getting something started, I'll say, if I were you, I would not start in the United States. And I think there's a lot of US-based companies and even US public companies that would agree with that.
So is this the death of XRP in the United States, or will they come back stronger? Well, a judgment on the SEC case is expected in the next 3 to 6 weeks, according to reports. And while we have heard that before, so who knows, the minute I get an update on this case, I will let you know. And major Ethereum dApp AAVE is not waiting for the congestion to clear out. They're moving to L2s. AAVE version 3 launches on Ethereum Layer 2 network Metis. So this is not the first ETH scaler that AAVE continues to launch on, but Metis, they saw value in, is the next in line. AAVE's community recently voted in favor of a proposal deploying on zero-knowledge ZK-proof EVM ZK Sync. And while AAVE has yet to deploy on ZK Sync Era, it has announced its deployment of V3 of its protocol on optimistic rollup scaling protocol Metis. So what is the difference between optimistic rollups and ZK rollups? Well, Ethereum.org highlights the main difference between optimistic rollups and ZK rollups. The former, meaning optimistic, processes transactions off-chain before publishing data on-chain with a time frame for network participants to challenge the validity of transaction data. So that's optimistic rollups. And ZK rollups, meanwhile, execute transactions off-chain and submits large batches on-chain using single proof of validity with no need for the network to validate the data. Either way, great for Metis, great for AAVE. Make sure you do not miss, if you haven't watched already, do not miss our interview with XMana, how XMana is about to change sports, entertainment, and cryptocurrency. Seek this out, and like always, see you tomorrow.